I've just
Welcome. We are, yeah, almost done. Real quick. So, hi, we're at Bitcoin Core App Design Jam session number 4, where we just hang out and work on current design issues around the project. So, Mo, you're about to say something.
talk about timing. Ion, I just dropped in the link of the Figma file, so you can also jump in there with us as well.
I'm opening it up. Thank you.
Cool.
And yeah, we're a small group today. I think people are on vacation and conferences and otherwise. So we can really, I don't have a specific agenda, just like our call yesterday. We have a couple of open things. There are a few things that are in development, but I think we've kind of covered those yesterday. We also talked about the design documents and whatnot. Maybe we could just, because we're a small group, we can be kind of focused on one thing. Maybe we just pick one of the flows and we just try to work through some of the detailed designs in that. How does, or what's on your mind, Mo? What do you think would be?
I like that idea as well. I know you mentioned the create wallet flow yesterday as well. It definitely still feels like we're working still with the send flow as well. So yeah, open to both.
Yeah, and I think we picked. I mean, big picture, we're still doing a lot of exploration. We're not trying to do final designs right now. We're just kind of feeling out this whole application. And for the first version of the wallet will not include, what did we say? It will not include multisig, right? It'll just, what did we say it includes multisig?
Yeah, I think we did say that it would include. I'll just go to the
Or was it external signer? So it was single sig, view only.
multisig 2 of 3 and multisig 3 of 3.
Okay, so limited multisig, so
Yep.
not all possible options. Okay, so so when we switch from just a node runner to the wallet, we need to revise the onboarding flow. And then we need to have wallet creation and import in there, and we need to have this. Yeah, I assume then that comes with sending. But maybe we should just dig into the just creating a wallet. It's pretty essential. So we have this. We could either look at, well, let's just try to make a copy of all of this stuff and try to refine it a little bit. I'm just going to move this over here. So if we don't allow people to create custom wallets, then this whole thing here can be gone. No custom wallets. All of this stuff. Then no custom wallets. And then also no view-only wallets, right? And no external wallets. This is what we're dealing with.
I think we do have view only. View only is also known as watch only as well, right, Christoph?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have that in our user flow.
Okay, no external ones, and we don't want anything custom right now.
View only.
Okay, so that leaves us with, what is this one here? Oh, this was external signer, so we're just going to ditch all of this. Okay, so this is roughly our space things out a little bit differently. Okay, and so, you know, the design guide can help us with some of the things. We can also look at the Bitcoin UI kit, and we can pull in screenshots from other applications if we want to start detailing some of this stuff out. Something unique about the Bitcoin Core is that it doesn't use a recovery phrase. It stores wallet.dat files. So none of this recovery phrase stuff really applies. Auto cloud backup, also not really a thing. So this is pretty, let's call it old school, saving a file to your computer. And the file can be encrypted, I believe.
We can also, shall I go grab the screen states from the create wallet of the old GUI maybe and just, or do you want to just maybe not look at those because it might add too much of complexity?
No, I think that's a good line. So I think very fundamentally, we always have to, have to look at what the old wallet does and then try to port it, like analyze it basically. And then there are some things that are technically just the way they are, or that we can't change them, and other things that we can adjust. So I'm just actually starting the create wallet flow in the old wallet. I'm just going to copy paste some screenshots in here. Okay, here. Test August 25. Okay, I'm going to encrypt it. And then passphrase, I think that only shows up because I get lots of warnings here. Cool. This is wallet creation flow.
I just brought in one of the user flow components to just create that alongside you.
This is not the right order here, is it? Again, I'm just going to create another one. Test to, that one will not be encrypted. Okay. So if you don't encrypt it, these three center steps do not exist. So this is without encryption, this is with encryption. So actually pretty straightforward. Which is one of the nice things about, you could say Bitcoin Core, it's like, it just kind of throws you in there, but it's also incredibly low friction. It just starts a node, creates a wallet for you, and you're good to go. It's very direct. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna put a placeholder here. Yeah. Stuff. So I guess a question is, for the very first version here is, so disable private keys, make blank wallet a descriptor wallet. This is stuff where we have to figure out if we want to tackle those. So let's just take a look. Let's see. So we have these screens here. So one of the questions is, and that's something I think Basto brought up, is good to know. You are about to create a single sig Bitcoin wallet. Not the right copy, just roughing things in. Then let's just say, let's say there's some stuff that we want users to know. We could So let's say we have 3 points that we want people to know. One could be, I'm just making stuff up real quick. Your wallet, it will be saved to your hard drive as wallet name.dat. You can optionally encrypt it. Make sure you don't lose your password. And then probably something about security, right? So that's basically having, we can optionally, because we have different wallet types, a user might want to click on each wallet type and go in and say, well, what is this thing? So this would be a general and informational screen. We can do that. That's an option before we actually go into filling out the form. And for filling out the form, encrypt, protect. Instead of encrypt, we could just say protect wallet with a password. Just see what toggle here. And here, actually, just not the title here. All right, so we could do something where instead of marking this as optional, we just, okay, you toggle it on, and then this no password. Choose a password. And if, let's say, the wallet name is used for I'm just gonna put this in here. Wallet file on your hard drive will be called, it should say, wallet called my awesome wallet.dat. Yeah. So if we split up all the informational stuff, heads up, give people a heads up, this is what you're about to do, this is what it means, this is what you need to have ready. Then we have name and input screen here. That would be an option. And if we do want to, let's pick up the pattern from these other screens that we have. Feel free to chime in anytime, Mo. I'm just doing stuff here, thinking out loud.
Yeah, I was just looking at the user flow of the original wallet design, and I was just placing it above here. They have 3 advanced options on the home, on the initial page.
So that would be a thing here where we wallet settings, and here we could. So that is the question what I had with. So in this flow, in the first mockup here, there was a thing about create a custom flow for unique wallet configurations. So I'm wondering if all these super options like with disable private keys, make blank wallet, if those are in this custom configuration, or if those should also appear in this normie flow.
It seems to go in the advanced settings. That's a good question. You could do it also at 3 little dots like you did in the
disable private keys. Blank wallet. So the Bosch had looked into this before, And there was a lot of discussion, and what those options exactly do is not really clear.
It would also be interesting how often those options are used. I guess that's a question we need to discuss with the devs, maybe.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why they might not be used is because they're confusing.
Yeah.
So I guess there's the need, how often they're used, and how much they should be used, maybe. Like descriptor wallets are a good thing for I guess compatibility, and so you don't run into issues importing your wallet somewhere else, but the adoption is maybe an issue still. So I think some of the stuff has to change over time as well, and there might be different reasons why to put things in different places. But ideally, all of these come with an explanation.
I agree, because the descriptor wallet one, I wouldn't know what that means.
You can import keys later. But what I'm missing here is what's the point? So I'm starting a wallet without private keys, and then I can import them later. But why would I want to do that? Like it's a wallet without private keys, so it's like it's an empty shell. It's an egg without anything in it. I guess you can still paint it for Easter and put it up, and it's nice decoration. But a wallet without private keys, what do you do with that? Is it a developer thing? Yeah. With a blank wallet, I guess that's the same question. What's different from private keys? The only thing I could think of potentially is that if you disable private keys altogether, like if you make a blank wallet, okay, here's a theory. If you make a blank wallet, it has no private keys, but you can import them later. Unless you say disable private keys, then you can never ever import them again. Right? That could be a thing. And the descriptor wallet is a different way of a different format for your private keys that basically includes a little bit more information about how addresses and other stuff are generated. So that's the thing. I mean, this is one way we could do it. We have, very simple options here, and then we have these settings below.
So the user would click on detailed settings, and that would open up this wallet settings screen here.
Correct, and that's the exact same flow that we have in our current onboarding in all of these here, where we have detailed settings, and then from the bottom, the screen slides up temporarily. You adjust a few things, you press done, and then it goes back down. So that is an option. And then, 10 or more random characters or 8 or more words. And there are just a lot of, there are 2 modals just to confirm that the user wants to encrypt stuff.
I was just looking at that in the user flow. I was wondering what the necessity was of both modals. That if they could be merged into one.
Yeah, they're bold text, and they have exclamation triangle thing here. So yeah, clearly this is something very important, and we should come up with a screen. So either we put in a modal here, so we could say, if I press continue, I will get modal. Are you sure? Oh. Yes. Serious warnings about not losing the password. Ideally, we can just have one, and it may, maybe it's a situation where we also put in another toggle here. Like, I understand. Right, double approval. But that's stuff that we can figure out. Then what happens next? Then it says creating wallet. And I guess here my question would be, so we could repurpose this modal here. Wallet. Cool. So this is something that could happen. If it doesn't work out, then we're still in this wallet creation flow. We didn't get kicked out. If we close the wallet creation flow already, then we'd have to send people back if something doesn't work out. Not sure how likely that is even to happen. Another option could be that we have, steal this over here. Okay,
I went to the GitHub of the GUI. I pulled up something from 2020. That was the new create wallet user flow. It was quite interesting. They used the encrypt wallet. That was a toggle box that's right at the beginning of the create wallet flow. I don't know if it seems that this encryption thing is quite a thing. If that's a decision, because at which point do we now give the user the choice to encrypt their wallet in this user flow? So we've got this password settings one. This one here. Ion, feel free to jump in at any point. Oh, has he gone?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It seemed I looked at the old user flow.
And do you have a link, or is it in Figma somewhere?
I've copied and pasted it in right here. That's straight from the GitHub.
Is this what Bosch worked on?
don't know. Let me see. Yeah, he created this issue. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I know he spent a lot of time on it, and there was all kinds of discussion around it.
why was the wallet encryption done there at the beginning of the user flow? Is there a reason for that?
Does he not describe it in?
Let me have a look.
I mean, the whole thing encrypts wallet. It's just, I would just call it add wallet password.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Because encrypting essentially means adding a password.
I mean, that's technically what's happening, but for a user, I'm adding a password. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
So it feels like add password is a more user-friendly way of saying encrypt. Encrypt is just really,
Yeah.
you know,
Like when it says encrypt wallet, it's, I'm not sure if I'm supposed, if this is something that I will have to do anything about, right? It could be like, okay, the wallet, it's just going to encrypt it and it's going to do that on its own. Or, you know, I'm not, as a user, I don't know what the implications are.
okay, so serious warning. So I'm just wondering, protect. So if they turn on protect wallet with a password and they click yes, then the password's going to go in. So here they're encrypting the wallet here in your second screen state. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. It doesn't say encryption, but it's the same feature.
And this password is much better than encryption. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just on my last point here. We could either have a modal where people have to wait, or we throw people into the actual UI, and maybe all the nav options are disabled. And then it just create wallet in here. So it feels like, you know, modal, these type of things feel like blockers, but these are like, yeah, it's almost ready. You know, just slightly different experience, but
Yeah.
it's more difficult to code these type of things.
And then basically would the next screen basically be then the send or receive screen and they're done? Or,
Yeah, I mean, so yes, no, maybe. That's something we have to decide. Where, like Hebasto said, that it is very good practice. Oh, actually, I think we have that in here.
yeah. Another thing I'm
So we had,
noticing.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So just on that point, so we had two more things in here. One is let's back up your wallet. This could be practical, like, okay, you know, now here, save this wallet file, put it in your USB stick or something else, where it tells you, it asks, like, and there's a button that says, okay, here's how you copy that file, or here's how you can find that file. So the user is very familiar with where that wallet file is stored.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, and this is something Hebasto said, is that before using a wallet, it's good practice to actually test it. Receive a little bit of Bitcoin,
Yeah,
and then if it's like gone in 5 minutes, then you know, like, it's not a safe.
This is a good point you're making because what a lot of the people, I noticed something really, it was a bit special with the last screen state on Blixt. People really wanted to click on the details of the transaction. And I asked them, well, why are you clicking on the details? And they said, oh, it's the first time I'm using the wallet, so I want to make sure that my transaction went through correctly.
Yeah.
So it really makes a lot of sense to add this at the beginning of the flow.
Yeah. And so those are actually two distinct flows we can put. So let's back up your wallet. You know, this is probably not needed for view only. For multisig, it's a little bit more complicated, I think. And for test transaction, it could be just pure instructional. It could be say, here's what you should do next, and then people are off on their own. Or we could actually have dedicated screen states saying, okay, here's a QR code, or here's your first address, deposit something to it, and then the application just waits there until it receives something on the address, and you can't do anything else, maybe.
So,
Or yeah, so I think we have a few options here.
so you're thinking of after they encrypt their wallet, set up the password, then they go through backing up. Let's back up the wallet. These two screens here.
So what I'm my approach right now is to come
Yeah.
up with the most explicit version we can possibly have.
Yeah.
And then during discussion and during like lay out everything we can possibly do. And
Yeah.
then we will pare it down.
Yeah.
But if nothing, if things are not visualized here, then people will not think they exist.
Yeah.
Like just lay everything out basically. So
So
this would be the most elaborate thing that I've heard. So a full backup flow, a full first transaction flow.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Um, I'm just wondering with the flow. Is it also something to if we let's say hypothetically suggest that they back up their wallet, so they encrypt and then they back up, do we tell them maybe early on in the flow, hey, there's just two things that you need to do before you know you're ready to start sending and receiving. Back up your wallet, um, you know, encrypt your wallet and test your wallet. Um, give them a little bit of expectations with regards to the time that's going to be taken. Um, I just it was one of the feedback that I got was that the onboarding process felt a little bit choppy, and that was because there was the the two things having to what was it, having to back up your passphrase and having to set up the channel, and those two things can sometimes feel a bit choppy to users. um,
What about it feels choppy?
it's the feedback was, look, it feels like I'm having to keep on doing a task before I can actually do that thing that I'm here to do.
Yeah.
um, they're like, oh, I just want to get to that send and receive screen, like that impatience of a user, like, why do I have to do all these things? I'm just wondering if
Yeah, I mean that's the
setting some expectations a bit, mhm. Ooh, another thing that I noticed on those other screen states was they made them confirm their password 2 times. I don't know if that's necessary.
yeah, I mean that's good practice. I don't know if we're gonna get around that one.
Yeah.
But what I was about to say here to your point was having these skip buttons is helpful. And you can either call them do this later, or you can call them skip.
Fully agree with that. Yeah, don't force them to do something. Yeah.
And I guess But yeah, those are all details we can still figure out further.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if we have more follow-up screens, it seems like this one is really not that helpful here. It's creating a wallet. Then, okay, now let's back it up.
And maybe a screen with the different backup options. I guess that's a bit more extended then.
For this one, well, I don't think there are any other backup options. It's
There
really
are no?
just
Okay.
it's really just a file on your computer,
Okay.
and you just have to make sure nobody gets that file.
Okay.
But you know, that's why I'm also relying on the rest of the crew to chime in. I think for every single screen, we're going to have discussions here.
And maybe an overlay modal that your wallet is backed up, confirmation that it's being completed.
Yeah, like with cloud backup, the application can know.
Okay.
But with this here, the application cannot know. So you could, for example, press save wallet file, and a file picker, like a folder picker, could show up. But if you cancel it, I'm not sure if the application can actually know that.
Oh,
it cannot.
okay.
Like with cloud backup, it's what the application does. Here, it's what you do.
Okay, that's so you get the confirmation on your computer itself that it's saved within the.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anytime you save a file, I assume it might be slightly different, but I think that's what it's going to be. Anytime you save a file, it's like, okay, what folder do you want to save it in? You press the folder and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't know. We also have to figure out. I mean, Hebasto is such a great resource for this because he's been dealing with that for a long time. He might know. We can also check out GitHub and other sources for what are the recommended ways to back up this particular type of wallet file.
I'll make a note about that. So there is only currently one way, all that we know of backing up the wallet, and that's this one.
Yeah.
There's no options. Okay.
Yeah, and because there's also Bitcoin Core doesn't really like to integrate with any third parties, like cloud backup or explorers, or pulling in currency data from some third party or so. It's all for privacy, security, having control over the code and whatnot. Yeah, you just don't have some of these. Yeah, you don't have a Dropbox integration where it's like, yeah, save my wallet file to Dropbox.
Yeah. So, okay, so we have create wallet name and advanced options. No, that's not. Remove the advanced options to the second screen.
And maybe a simple backup is like, get a USB, buy a brand new USB drive, put it on there, label it, and put it in a safe place in your home. I don't know. There might be other things here that I really don't know yet. We'll have to discuss, and we'll get there. Maybe in a month, maybe in 6 months or so, but we'll get there.
Cool, but this is looking good so far. I mean, this is looking good. I'm just going to create another one because you have wallet settings. Okay, and then that would be an additional screen still possibly for the advanced settings. Okay.
Passwords. And then encrypts a wallet file to prevent unwanted access.
So just thinking out loud. You know that make blank wallet suggestion? I'm just, yeah, it's something we might have to figure out later because it feels like maybe that option should be on the initial screen, create a blank wallet, as opposed to being in the settings screen.
Why?
It feels like that's an initial decision point that someone's making. It's like, okay, the first screen is I'm making a decision, or I'm going to create a new wallet, or I'm going to create a blank. What is the difference between a blank wallet and a new wallet?
Well, yeah, that's well. Let's ask the internet.
Yeah, what is the
Bitcoin
difference?
Core blank wallet. And here we have a stack exchange.
Yeah.
The wallet starts out with nothing in it, but private keys can be added later via import or as seed. Disable private keys. The wallet is set in watch only mode. Only public keys can be imported into a wallet. You can use it, for example, to track transactions or generate PSPTs. So you're basically creating a view-only wallet.
If you create a blank wallet.
Okay, disable private keys is you make a view-only wallet that can never ever be converted to a like a full wallet. Yeah, and that I guess maybe that answers one of our other questions. If view-only wallets can, if it's an option that view-only wallets can be converted to full wallets or not.
So just if I understand correctly, a blank wallet is then a view-only wallet, if I understood, or?
Well, a blank wallet is it's like an empty shell. Like it's just like an empty, in a way, it's like an empty file. Like there are no private keys, there are no addresses. And then later on you can say, well, you know, I have a private key here and I want to add it in. Now, I still don't understand what the point of it is.
That's
why you would want to create a blank wallet.
It's almost like you go into the user flow and then they're like, okay, I'm going to create a wallet that I'm going to use right now. I'm going to put in all of the settings. Oh, but then I'll also create a blank wallet and I'll actually put nothing in it and I'll just have a blank wallet.
Yeah, it's like creating an empty file.
Yeah. Why would someone want to do that?
Okay, let's dig.
Do some research here.
There must be some reason for it. Yeah, I don't know. How about we ask our fellow teammates here. Question: while we are working, we are looking at the create wallet flow. What is the practical use of creating a blank wallet?
Cool. Because yeah, and that's why I was like, you know, it's like I would almost see it as being two buttons on the home screen, but then that also wouldn't make sense. Create wallet, create blank wallet. Create wallet, create blank wallet. You know.
Yeah, you know the. So I wonder if blank wallet is something for these. It's a super customization option. So let's say there's blank wallet, nothing in it. It has the potential to become any wallet you ever want.
Yeah.
And maybe in the command line tool, there are like 400 options to create different types of wallets. And it really allows you to build this thing from scratch with very specific options.
Yeah.
While creating Wreck Your Wallet, it's like it just builds the thing for you, and it makes 50 decisions for you.
Yeah.
But if you don't like any of those decisions, you can't do anything about it. So this is like, this is building from scratch potentially. You're not buying the pizza dough and putting stuff on it. You're actually buying the flour and you're making your own
Making it
pizza
from
dough.
scratch.
And,
Yep. Putting the yeast in, everything step by step. Okay. It might be so that those advanced settings like we had with the rest of them, that they've moved somewhere.
Yeah.
But we'll see later. Because disable private keys as well.
A disable private piece, I mean, that's basically view only. If we have a view only option, then we don't need this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that make blank wallet option is to find out if that's actually a thing. Is that actually, it's quite, what this means, implications, why choose this.
Yeah, it's just like what the copy in here should achieve, basically.
Yeah.
And then, if make blank wallet becomes this custom wallet option, then we might not even need this in here either.
Yeah, so that screen might just disappear and, become another user flow, I guess. If that's
correct. And then the, that's really up to our pro users to figure out we need to learn how people use this. It could be that make blank wallet is super useful and people do 100 different things with it. And in that case, it's hard to build a UI for it. But if people always do the same 2 things with this feature, then we can just make that possible in an easy way.
cool. This was a very good session.
We're nearing the hour.
I mean, that's flow that's designed some initial. Oh, I see. I've made some typed in my.
This is turning into such a mess. Good old design discovery always ends up in a mess. But real quick, let's. Did you take notes in the file or on your own?
Which file and stuff? The one we're in now?
Yeah.
No, I was basically just chatting back and forth with you and creating the user flow. And then I went outside and did some research. I didn't take any notes.
I'm just going to put some simple to-dos down here. It's copy we need to figure out in all screens. That will be its thing. Is blank wallet a separate flow from this one? Then here is what are best practices for backup that we can explain and encourage. Is this on users or can we provide UI?
I'm writing some notes also underneath.
How explicit to make this screen if all user flow for this first does it or just provide instructions. I think we can ditch this one here. Yeah, I guess a common thing that happens too is something like what you see sometimes. Creating wallet. But the button turns that all this stuff is disabled, and then you get some. Don't know, something like that. That this type of state could be an alternative.
Yeah, I made a note about that as well. Oh, you've added an additional one. Okay.
That's just a variation. Sometimes when forms do something and the user has to wait, it's just the form gets. I mean, this is like not a good visually not good here, but it
Yeah.
makes the point that you get this creating wallet. The button turns into a loader, and then the form becomes disabled. And
That's almost a little bit tidier than the overlay option that it would change. It's a bit neater somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not this thing that's like here's a blocker, right? It doesn't introduce this.
It doesn't feel that way. Yeah, that's a good one.
And we also have to be very clear. We have to design through all of these error states here. Make sure people pick a good password.
I'll add in a note here if are there particular ways of hacking is this the only option?
We're probably nearing the hour now, so
Yeah,
Gigi
we
is going to
finished
kick
the
us
hour.
off here.
Yeah.
So how about I just stop the recording real quick?
Yep.
Do that. Thanks to anyone who is watching this video to the end. You're amazing. Have a good one.